Hello and welcome back everybody. This is Bram Lagrou here talking to you today about technology and how it helps you make more sales. I'm here, next to me here is Sam Daynes. He's the CEO of Ardento, a technology company, and he's personally a software guru. Sam, thanks so much for making yourself available.
No worries, thanks for having me, Bram.
Yeah. Well, we just want to walk you through a little bit of the great things that technology brings to people in sales, whether they are sales managers, business owners, or sales professionals.
Sure.
Right? Just talk us maybe quickly through what Ardento does and how you work with these three customers or users, so to speak.
The easiest way to describe Ardento and what we do is we're a sort of technology partner, we're an implementation partner, and we work with specific software solutions and help businesses to leverage that and make themselves more competitive, more profitable using software technology. I guess from a business development point of view, we focus on CRM and how we can implement CRM systems in business and really help people leverage the power of that business development technology and help them generate more sales, follow up more effectively, and just basically make their sales processes more effective.
That's it, and definitely saving time.
Definitely saving time. So one of the main reasons why technology is great and we use it in every part of our lives is efficiency.
Yes.
Just to generate efficiencies, and software that's one of the immediate things, the immediate ROIs that implementing software correctly can do, generate efficiency.
Brilliant. Now for those who are not familiar with CRM, just walk us through it exactly what it means and how that actually translates the benefits that you just described.
Yeah, so look, CRM I guess is probably a fairly wide term that most people, it stands for customer relationship management, and it's used in a whole lot of different areas. At its real core, CRM is about managing your contacts, your communications, and tracking that customer-facing data. So it's more about business development, marketing processes. The really deeper functionality that you're starting to see in CRM systems now is artificial intelligence, really deep pipeline management, marketing automation, and social media integration. So these are the more outreaching features. They're really at that core. CRM is about sharing information amongst your team, making it visible for everybody in your business. That's really at the heart of what a good CRM should be about.
Excellent. Thanks for translating that in layman's terms. So obviously there is such a thing like with every smartphone. The phone is initially meant to make calls with, which is the basic functionality. You mentioned the deeper level sort of features that CRM provides. People that actually don't use CRM, what are they doing, and how is that potentially holding their businesses back?
So look, most businesses will have some sort of process around business development and sales. And I mean, you know better than anybody that sales is really the lifeblood of all business. Now that may be just typical spreadsheet type tracking. They may have a CRM, or they may be using things like Outlook and these other pieces of applications which aren't really designed to manage sales and business processes. Chances are these processes exist. Now a CRM allows to put a more structured process around that. It allows it to bring these things visible to the surface so that sales managers, business owners, and even the actual sales professionals themselves can see more clearly what the picture is. Where are their next deals coming from? How can they follow up effectively? What is the workflow and the proper steps that need to be taken to be able to follow that sales process? And a CRM can do those things for you where Outlook and your email can't do that for you. Your spreadsheets aren't going to be able to have the functionality around it. So CRM is just really built to be able to drive that sales process right from lead generation through to closing the deal and winning the customers.
Fantastic, thanks. Well, I'm mindful that sometimes people who haven't really been exposed yet to what this technology can do for their businesses, there's sometimes a bit of hesitation, perhaps a bit of skepticism around it. People don't know exactly what they can expect. Could you just use a class example of the difference of a company that before they had the CRM software and afterwards, what really the difference was, so that people can really get their head around that?
Sure, so the impact, and I guess again I'm almost talking about visibility and leveraging data to make decisions. So we implement these systems to capture the information and help with the efficiencies and the processes, but the outcome of that is really great information to make a decision on. I use an example of a customer that we worked with in Sydney. They sell certain types of fabrics and curtains and things like that. They their management team had certain ideas about where their most profitable sales region was and who their most effective sales team members were. And this has all just come from intuition and from gut, which everybody in business uses this, and generally it can probably lead you down the right path. But in some cases, it may not be reflective of reality. So by using a CRM system, then we were able to see, after a period of time of inputting sales, looking and analysing that, the actual real world outcome, which was another sales region, which was being overlooked, that was actually more profitable and had a faster conversion rate. Without being able to track that through a system, that sort of information was only driven from gut instinct or thought, and it was a little misleading. So it's there as a catalyst. It's not a silver bullet. I don't think implementing a CRM is going to instantly increase your top line revenue by a certain percentage, but it's definitely going to help you be able to make more strategic decisions about how to improve things and give you that visibility. If you don't have a system around that, it's going to be very hard to make those decisions.
Makes sense, and that visibility is pretty much 24/7 readily available.
Yeah.
It's almost like having, if you use perhaps something else that people definitely will know, if you have an accounting software that allows you to pretty much give you that visibility as to where you're tracking, as opposed to not having it at all, you're needing then to wait for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, until you actually see your account, and then the accountant tells you, well, here's where it's at.
That's right.
That in itself is obviously prehistorical, and we all know that there's so much better things to do. So the CRM is almost the same from a sales and marketing perspective, that gives you that same visibility 24/7, readily available, knowing that you then can make decisions.
It's got to be real time. As near as real time as possible. It's got to be accessible. You talked about mobile phone. We've got people that are their sales role might be out on the road, 90% of the time. Can they access it from the mobile phone, their tablet? Can they pop open their laptop and get that information in real time? All of these things are about leveraging cloud technologies, making it easy to use, mobile ready. These are the real key platform basics that if you're exploring a CRM, or you've got a CRM that's not doing these things now, then you really should explore these as an option and make sure that it's accessible really easily. CRM has to be easy to use, and it has to be adopted by the team. And when it's adopted by your team and utilised on a daily basis and part of their everyday workflow, that's when the ROI really starts to happen.
Brilliant. So Sam, you said adoption by the team is super critical. Could you explain a little bit more, like what certain business owners and sales managers may experience in the lead up to the implementation of CRM software?
Yeah, great question. So I guess, as you're probably aware yourself, Bram, there are two sort of people two personality types that you would encounter when implementing change. And implementing technology is change within business. It's disruptive.
Exactly.
It's not a light thing to undertake. You're going to have resistors, people that are fearful of the change, and maybe you're going to be resistant to that particular change, not going to want that to impact their daily workflow. And then you have champions, people that are going to be really excited and keen for the change. And so you have to be able to manage both of those and identify these types of people. But getting down to basics, it's easy to sort of look at technology and evaluate all really great features and functionality. These are what I would call bells and whistles. These are the things that they grab your attention, they make you want to buy, and that's the path that you want to be able to achieve and with the pace that you want to be able to get to. But it doesn't start with that. It starts with really basic functions and adopting the technology to be part of the everyday business process.
So we're talking there about behavior change.
Behavior change, exactly. So perhaps maybe your sales team has never been used to entering in their leads and their opportunities in a system, or maybe they have done separately from the team, but being able to educate them about putting it into a central system so that everybody can see. But it has to, at its core, it has to give something back to the individual user. So from our point of view as implementation partners of CRM software, we're always looking at also how's the system going to benefit the organisation as a whole, but also how's it going to benefit the individual? Because when it benefits the end user, the person in front of the keyboard using their phone every single day, then they're the ones that are going to become champions, and they're going to buy into the system. They're going to enter really quality information, and it's going to become so intrinsically part of their day that they're not going to be able to live without it. As soon as that happens, and that happens across the organisation, then all of the great output and all of the great insight that you want from the software will come.
Yes.
But without that adoption, it's hard to get the other part of it. So it's getting down to basics and really thinking about how it can pay dividends to the individual, basically.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, guys, obviously, we in our business, we work a lot in managing change, and I'm mindful. I mean, the reason why I brought in Sam to talk about technology and specifically CRM software for sales teams and business development people is that he really is very intimately connected to that piece of adoption. So Sam, if you could just again for the viewers, expand a little bit more on what sort of steps you would advise senior leaders to take before even the software is rolled out. Like, what's the sort of piece that you guys as an external, partner help your clients with to make sure that the adoption is there so that the behaviors will be driven and then obviously the results are on the scoreboard?
Yeah, definitely. So look, getting these people involved from day one. So key salespeople, whether they're the boots on the ground salespeople or sales managers, but people that are going to be using the software every day, they're the ones that it's going to impact. Get them involved early, undertake analysis, and we would do this with all software implementations, and I strongly believe it's one of the most overlooked portions about software implementation, and that's properly analysing the business case, the impact of the change, and really understanding and bringing in the stakeholders to talk about what's this system going to do for us, what are our goals and outcomes, and what is the impact of that change. That can even happen without a specific software in mind, because we know the concept that we want to achieve, we have our requirements nailed out, and we're creating buy-in with the relevant people so that they're invested in it and it doesn't feel like it's being thrusted upon them.
Exactly.
If they get buy-in and they're part of the process, then they've made decisions for its success as well. And as you know, once the buy-in's generated, they're going to be vested in it. Their success will be bound to the success of the implementation. So definitely getting down to that part at the start will do a lot. Also, I say this with everything. We've come a long way in software where there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of options. Take some time to evaluate the solutions that are out there. We work with a number of solutions, but they're not by far not all of the solutions. And likewise, other solutions that you have out there that maybe other businesses are running doesn't mean that it's the only option for you, and doesn't mean that it's the only option for your business. So take the time to analyze the requirements, create buy-in, and just evaluate what options are out there before sort of deciding on the particular system or platform that you're going to implement.
Okay. If I were to go a little bit more granularly, if that's the right word, I'm Belgian after all. And English is only my fourth language. I'm just wondering, in terms of, let's just say you got time for adoption with the sales team after you've spoken with the senior leaders in the business. Walk us through a little bit what the phases are that you suggest business leaders to take their teams through to ensure that the technology they implement in terms of CRM really work out.
Yeah, good. So look, at Ardento, we follow sort of 3 steps or 3 phases, if you like, through an implementation. We start with an analysis. And look, I think this is probably, again, one of the most overlooked parts, really getting under the hood of the business and really working out what the functionality is that is required, getting buy-in from stakeholders. Getting that right is going to put the best chance of having success and stopping an implementation from failing. We go then through an implementation phase, which is actually getting there working. Now, one thing I love about CRM systems is just how easy it is to be able to customize and make changes to the software in real time. So it's not something we have to, go away and do a whole lot of behind the scenes work in terms of development. And we do some of this, but it doesn't have to be a huge part of it. We can make changes in workshops in front of the team and really work in an agile way to configure the software to make it work for people. And then the last phase is really support. So, we partner with our customers for life, hopefully, in the sense that we make sure that we're around to help them get the most out of the software from day one, but also day 100 and beyond, because it is a marathon, not a sprint. A lot of these features and functions will come later down the cycle rather than on that initial phase. So I guess my absolute main recommendation for leaders out there implementing any type of systems, including CRM, is just the analysis. Spend time working on the why you want to implement this software and really what is the goal and ambition of that. If you can spend the time doing that and getting buy-in from the right team members, you're going to put the best foot forward for success, basically.
Exactly. And to really, when you talk about the buy-in, this is stuff for you and me that comes like, it's just common sense. But from buy-in, like, how would you go about it specifically, working with the team members to ensure that they are on board and actually are driving the process as opposed to opposing it?
Yeah, so look, I think getting their buy-in early on and actually asking these individual team members and the end users, what do they want from the software? Well, how is it going to benefit them? What are the features and the functions that they want to see? It's easy to, from a managerial point of view, make decisions for the business, and definitely the system needs to be supporting the overall business objectives. But before it gets to that point, the individual users and the people that are going to be working with these systems day in, they need to feel that it's doing something for them. And getting their input earlier on will help them feel like they're contributing to the process. But also not just listening to them, but also following up and actually making these changes. And if there is something in the system that they don't like, or there is a process that they're not familiar with, really taking the time to train these people, and also just spending time with them to work them through that. And really our team works with, boots on the ground with these people to make sure that whether they are fearful of a new system or they don't like change, but really taking the time to help those people make adoptions. And eventually these systems become part of their everyday life, and it was as if how did they live without it beforehand? That's really where we want to get to.
That's excellent. And I really want to take again time for those business leaders there that sometimes are thinking, oh my God, investing in this pre-work, it will cost us more money and the likes. What are the risks and the pitfalls that people may encounter when they actually shortcut that process and go straight for implementation driven from the top?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we said, implementations are notorious to fail. Software is expensive and it's disruptive in terms of the implementation phase, and taking that time, and you're right, spending maybe a little bit of money up front to do that proper analysis could potentially save a lot more time, heartache and money later on. Yes. To just get that implementation right. And there's no shame in really making sure that we've got this aligned, and often we will undertake analysis processes with customers or potential customers, and the journey ends with it's not the right time to implement software. Or maybe there are other business issues at hand, cultural issues, process issues that need to be addressed before technology can actually give benefit. And that's great as well, because we saved a whole lot of time and heartache, and then when it comes time to actually implement these systems, we're in a much better position to do so. So taking the time to plan and analyse the real requirements and the real reason behind doing this is going to save a lot of heartache. And partnering with someone like Ardento, an implementation partner, an expert in these areas, is just really going to mitigate the risk and put the best option for success forward.
Yep, that's makes a lot of sense. Let's just say, when we said there's certain people that try to cut the corner by, not doing the first step or the first phase, as you said it.
Yep.
What if certain people would actually try to drive it themselves, but not being an expert in either software or change management? What's the downside there that a company may be looking at?
So I guess one of the major risks, so aside from complete implementation failure, which is the ultimate the worst outcome, where the system is just scrapped and no system is implemented or no technology is implemented and the costs are just written off. But more importantly, there's sort of, I guess, even a bigger risk than that is to implement software that just really isn't doing what you want it to do, or isn't delivering the value that you hoped it to do, because you didn't have a clear direction or understanding of how the business process and the business goals align to the software functionality. And you just go in, start using the software, or using it in the way that you think you don't understand how the software works, you don't have the proper training or the expertise to really make the most of it, and you're going to be you're just shortchanging yourself. You're really going to be implementing technology and it's not to its best ability, and it's not really going to be delivering all the great things that you hoped it would when you first set out. So yeah, partnering with an expert is a surefire way to make sure that they can guide you so that you're going to be able to get the biggest bang for buck. when you do the software implementation.
Yeah, I've seen this time and time again, guys, that people trying to cut corners, they end up spending at least twice the amount that they initially budgeted just to somehow rectify the situation. They have to then get somebody involved after the entire team is already seriously disgruntled, let alone perhaps already completely switched off because they were just tired of the heartaches they experienced along the way. So probably it's a good idea to at least talk to somebody to walk you through that initial phase, which is the analysis, which is the stakeholder engagement, getting people to buy in from the ground up rather than from the top down, pushing it down. Is really critical from a change management perspective. I can only fend for that. If we now were to look at it a little bit more, like what the basic functionalities of a great CRM would be, and then going a bit more in a deep dive sort of thing.
Yeah, so look, at its core, CRM software is really about sharing information within your organization about your customers, your partners, your suppliers, the communication that happens with them. Of course, all of the business development stuff as well. Mm-hmm. So the lead generation and the marketing and the sales pipeline management. It can have far further reaching functionality, which is why CRM is so exciting now, from social media integration to really how do we take these engagements on social platforms and turn them into qualified leads and actually have a solid follow-up process. Really automated follow-ups and communications via emails and SMSs, better analytics and reporting and giving that real-time feedback to people. Even understanding how your other sales platforms or marketing platforms such as your website or your marketing campaigns, how are they performing? Do we need to change something? Can we pivot and be agile in our approach to these things more readily? Having really great technology at the heart of these processes is going to be able to give you the tools to be able to make these decisions easier.
Yeah, great. At this point, I feel excited actually to step in for just a quick moment to see, to show everybody how far this can go. If you think about when you use the right software and you automate a lot of the sales warming up, the nurturing, the drip feeding of information, and the interactions with the customer in line with what Sam said, I have seen businesses or people really build multi-million-dollar businesses, sometimes even between $10 and $20 million in revenue with 4 staff only. And the reason why they are doing that is because they can use so much of the technology to create the engagement with customers that then buy services, use their credit card online, and just make transactions without anyone having to call them one-on-one, and just completely wrapping that process up of the sales conversions online through automated systems, which is what you say. And you can you can pretty much see where people went on your website, put them into a funnel, qualify all that, measure where people were coming from, the engagement rates on social media, all of that you can pretty much bring back and visualize within your CRM, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is really now becoming a much more far-reaching tool than just the age-old adage of entering my leads and following up and converting a sales pipeline. It's really outreaching to all these other areas, and we know that now we really live in a true multi-channel environment, from social to email to web, online interviews, webinars, video. It just the list goes on, and having technology that supports all of these channels is really going to be one of the keys, and putting in that foundation from a really great CRM is just going to help you be able to do things more efficiently, have better visibility, hopefully win more deals.
Great. Good stuff. I'm excited about this stuff because I love being efficient. You guys have already heard me say time and time again, it's easy to be busy being busy by doing the grind work, but then busy being productive by setting up the right proper tools, processes, and systems really helps all of us to save so much more time that allows us to help more people out there that then pay us even more money compared to the former. So it's great stuff here. Sam, if you could just expand a little bit more on the particular CRM that you have got a lot of expertise with and how that would benefit viewers.
Sure. So we partner with a number of CRMs, but I really think the key one I want to highlight is Zoho. So we're a Zoho Alliance partner. We have a huge amount of success with Zoho, from implementing the CRM software for small to micro businesses through to larger enterprises with tens and hundreds of users. So it's really scalable. One exciting thing that I absolutely love about Zoho is they recently released a product called Zoho One, which brings together about 35 interconnected applications, which are from social media management we spoke about, marketing automation, help desk, business analysis, recruitment, the list goes on. It's really quite incredible. So definitely Zoho One brings that all together. We've got the opportunity for people to sign up for a trial, so they can go on our website. They just go to the How We Can Help You link on there. They click on Zoho One.
Which website is that?
It's ardento.com.au.
Ardento.com.au, yep.
Go to the website, click on the How We Can Help You link, go to Zoho One, and then there's the opportunity to sign up for a 30-day trial. This will give them access to the full Zoho One suite, and we'll make contact with them straight away to be able to help them through this process of evaluating the software. The good thing here is, even if they don't want to go ahead with a paid subscription, if they really just want a CRM to do some core CRM functions, it can revert to a 100% free CRM, free for 10 users, and it's free forever.
Wow.
So
that's
really
great value.
Yeah, it's great value, right? There's not much for free these days. So it really just gives people the opportunity to explore something like Zoho, a global leading software system. Then if they really aren't ready to invest and take it to the next level, they've still got a foundation that they can build on. And really that is the key, knowing that they've got somewhere to grow.
Yes.
So they're not implementing a system now that when they are 2, 3, 4 times bigger in a few years' time, if their business is going great, that they need to then push that CRM out and implement a new software. They've got a path to scale, and that's really what we're about with all the software technology that we work with at Ardento.
Great stuff. Sam, you and I have had numerous conversations at times about all things CRM. If I could just briefly ask your expert advice. Sometimes people have only heard about 1 or 2 different names in CRM, in CRM land. One of which is, for example, Salesforce. How would you actually, educate people of the value of at least exploring a few options apart from the one that they may be most familiar with?
Yeah, sure. So look, there's always going to be market leaders that have larger marketing reach, and these are the systems that are well known. Now, not all CRM systems are created equal, and not all CRM systems will fit every type of business equally. Just like you shop around for a car or a house or the neighborhood you want to live in, there are certain factors which are unique to you and your business that mean that certain software technology is going to be a better fit. So you're really doing yourself an injustice if you're just jumping on board to the very first system that you hear about, or that maybe your companies or businesses in similar industries are using another system. That is definitely an option, but it's not the only option. And it really pays to just take the time to, again, analyze your requirements. It doesn't have to be about software. It can just be about our business and how do we want to implement technology. Then you can take that with some really good understanding. You can go to experts and implementation partners like Ardento, or you can go straight to market and really just start to evaluate the systems that are out there. There are thousands of CRM solutions. Sometimes that can be daunting, and that's why as well, coming and working with an implementation partner, we can steer people on the right path. Maybe it's a CRM solution that we have, that's great, we can help you, but I'm definitely not afraid to steer people in another direction if the solution isn't the right fit.
Because you're always there to help out, to make sure that the right fit is found for the
Of course, because we want software systems to be implemented correctly. We want it to pay ROI to our customers or to business people out there around Australia. So it's about pairing them with great technology that's right for them, rather than any other agenda or avenue that might be on the cards.
So guys, this is probably a good time for me to actually bring my perspective again to the table. How valuable is it when you actually find somebody that is actually that committed to you to implement what's right for you and takes the time to assess what it is, and is not afraid to say, hey, probably this is going to be less of a fit than this one over here. This is probably something you want to look in your business partner that helps you with finding that right fit for your business, and then drives the implementation and the support phase afterwards. The analysis comes first, then it's implementation, then it is the support to make the most of your investment. Sam, I'm really also very pleased that that I've reached out to you and you accepted to actually help people in the room at the National Sales Conference in April 2018. Tell us a little bit more about the viewers, what this sort of masterclass is going to help them achieve by coming to the National Sales Conference and spending time with you.
Yeah, Bram, we're really excited about the National Sales Conference. We're a huge fan of what you do and everything that you bring to the table, so it's a real honour to be a part of this. But from our point of view, if people do decide to come along to our masterclass at the National Sales Conference, what I want to be able to give them is show them in the room, in real time, software in action. See how it can actually be implemented and what's capable and possible, so that when they leave our session, it's not just theoretical ideas. They've seen tangible, real-world examples of how software can be implemented and what's capable of that. They're going to be able to really have a path to be able to start to think about how to implement this technology. So expect live demos, lots of real-world examples, seeing things happen right there in the room. We want to make it a good showcase around what software is capable.
Great stuff. And questions that they may bring to the table?
Absolutely. It's very welcome anybody to bring questions, concerns, battle stories, problems that they've had in terms of implementing technology, and we can give our honest opinion on how to overcome those and really workshop through some of these ideas and give people some tangible advice on how to make the most out of implementing software technology, especially in a business development point of view, being a national sales conference about the noble profession of business development, as you call it. I'm really focusing on that. But of course, we love all technology, so happy to really just open up the forum there.
Great. I'm so pleased that you're coming along. This is the third edition of this National Sales Conference in April 2018. And I'm really pleased that Sam is coming along, because I've met tons and tons of people within the same profession. And I think there's few people only that really do get the technology piece, which is probably the most common denominator. Everybody in the field is an expert in the technology. But there's few people that actually also get into people's mind and understand like how culture and how just mindset is critical in order to make technology work for the business and the users and the customers involved. So Sam definitely combines both, which is why I'm glad that he's coming along. I do encourage you guys, of course, to come to the National Sales Conference. And once again, where can people go to actually receive a free trial of Zoho One?
Sure, definitely, Bram. So go on our website, which is ardento.com.au. There's at the top a How We Can Help You menu, which has a list of all of the products and services that we work with. Zoho One is right there. They can click on that link. They can see a little bit of a snapshot about all the features that Zoho One, and there's also a link there to sign up and try Zoho for free. Our team gets notification once that happens. We'll reach out to you to give you some free advice on how you can easily evaluate this. And then again, if you come along to the National Sales Conference, we'll be showcasing some of the really cool functionality that this suite of software can do. And that's the really exciting part.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time, Sam. Guys, any thoughts, questions, please post them below this video. Otherwise, I see you again next time. Thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.